All right. I've got a little bit of a video to go over with you guys. Before I get started, I do want to put out a disclaimer that this video was not intended to be any form of harassment or intimidation. It's not intended for anybody watching this video to direct any hate, harassment to any individuals mentioned in this video. Instead, this video is intended to be educational. It's intended to allow me an opportunity to give my side of the story, and it is First Amendment protected under freedom of speech, freedom of press, and given who we are talking about today, it is my right to petition the government for redress. So our local delegate, Bill Wiley, has a legislative assistant, and she posted a video on September 23rd, I think it was like 11 p.m., what seems to be about my scenario. Interestingly enough, the woman who tried to maliciously prosecute me is a friend to this legislative assistant. There's pictures galore on social media of them together. So she posts a video talking about how she's taking offense to members of the community. I guess saying something along the lines of being upset that her friend is infringing on my Second Amendment right. And given that this legislative assistant campaigns, so does the delegate that she's working for. They campaign as being Second Amendment supporters. They campaign as being against red flag law. So I want to play the video. Before I do that, we have the Second Amendment pulled up right here. I just want to read it. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, okay? Just remember that. Now, when I play this video, I do apologize, but the screen record caused a delay in the audio and the mouth moving. You don't have to watch this, you can listen to what she's saying. So I'm going to pause it here and there and kind of respond to the things that she says.
We work on Second Amendment legislation, protecting that amendment that protects all the rest of our amendments that we care so deeply about. I take offense, great offense, to people who would spread rumors regarding red flag laws. And I don't think they understand, in order for a red flag law to be used, there has to be a gun involved and a gun taken. You can't just go around and lightly accuse people of using red flag laws against you. And more important, and most importantly, myself or the delegate, anyone should know we are so far against that it's not even funny. That's what we fight against every day is the Constitution and
Okay. What I'm taking from this is that she thinks that red flag law is only when law enforcement like busts down your door, searches your house, and takes your firearms away from you, which I would disagree. I would say that any time the government is telling you that you can't have a gun when you should be allowed to have a gun, that's the red flag law. So red flag law really is when either an individual or law enforcement petitions the court saying that you're either a threat to yourself or others. So in my scenario, this woman's friend petitioned the court falsely alleging I threatened her with a firearm, and without any probable cause, without any due process, immediately my Second Amendment right was infringed on, okay? It'll be something about like you can't transport a gun, you cannot purchase a gun, you cannot carry a gun, and in extreme cases, you can't have any guns at all in your home. I am shocked that this woman who runs the local 2A community, I think it's like an organization, and given that the delegate, Bill Wiley, that she's the legislative assistant for, they campaign against red flag law and pro 2A. It's odd to me that this woman is essentially protecting her friend over the Second Amendment. I mean, everybody knows that when it comes to like a protective order, it's it's messed up, because all it takes is someone to go before a judge and make a false accusation, and that's it. That's, you know, that you immediately get your right infringed on, and you have to go through the whole court process. Thankfully, in my scenario, the protective order was dismissed for lack of violence, force, or threat, because it's supposed to be an extreme remedy for a protective order, and there's a level of, there's an evidentiary standard, and the woman, which is this lady's friend, admitted at trial or at the hearing that there were no actual threats that occurred. There was no threat to do any bodily harm. So it was all for nothing. Let's go ahead and hit play.
Would never dream of that. And so it's sad we live in a world where personal agendas, and I kind of made a post earlier, people were wondering why, but it's sad we live in a world where personal agendas will get in the way of power and having power, whether that's in politics or the community, instead of keeping in mind the Constitution. I have it written on my arm, you know, we the people. That.
Okay. Personal agendas. She talks about power and personal agendas. I think this woman has a personal agenda. In her position of power, she's got to play damage control, because now people are wondering if she doesn't really support the Second Amendment like she says that she did. I mean, she could say she supports it all day long, but it's the actions and these things that she's saying that contradict that. And if we go back to personal agendas, what was my personal agenda? You telling me that I had I went to court to defend my innocence, and it was on purpose because I had a personal agenda to turn around and make you look bad for, you know, not being a big supporter of the Second Amendment or being against the red flag law, like you say? I don't think so. Your friend has the personal agenda. She tried to maliciously prosecute me for my protected speech simply because I criticized her. And now here we are, and you're literally blowing smoke up people's asses. I would say that this woman is a manipulative woman. I think that she says a lot of these things in hopes to convince the community members that, you know, she's still here for the right reasons, and I would highly disagree.
That's what I refer to every day, and I can speak for the delegate. He does as well.
All right. She said she can speak for the delegate right there. I'm glad she said that, because, oh, hold on, let me hit, we don't want to do her dirty like that and have her mouth open on there. She says she speaks for the delegate. That's interesting, because she's just basically telling everybody that she is the spokesperson for Bill Wiley. And you have to presume that if she's the spokesperson, that he's vetting what she's saying. Does Bill Wiley really feel the same way? Does he think that a red flag law is only when law enforcement comes into your home and takes your guns away? Or does he actually support the Second Amendment and say anytime the government is infringing on your right to bear arms, that it's considered a red flag law? I mean, that's what's really at hand here. So it's crazy.
And it's to better our local community, our state, and our country. It's not a personal agenda. We honestly could care less what title we have. I honestly feel God places you in where you need to be. And so if you happen to be the person who is put in those positions or comes to the point where you're leading a group of people, I tend to believe and trust that God put me or him or you there for a reason. Not because you tried to undermine the process or.
All right, this little pause here is not on my end. This was actually from her stream, but I will say I think that she's trying to be manipulative. She's bringing up God. I think she's trying to pull on the heartstrings of religious people. It's a way for her to have, you know, an honest Christian person think that she is being forthcoming and truthful, which, you know, I have a hard time trusting people like this woman specifically, but that's also because I've caught her in lies before. I actually spoke to Bill Wiley and her on the phone about complaining about the things that this woman says and does on social media, specifically targeting some of Bill Wiley's constituents, the people that voted for him. She will just be a little childish, in my opinion.
Spread rumors. That's just uncalled for and childish. And I would hope that people would come, if they have a question, come straight to us, come straight to me, come straight.
She's talking about uncalled for, childish. I just, you know, this woman needs to check with her friend that came for me, that did what she did to me, because that's uncalled for. That's childish. The woman tried to hit me with 2 criminal charges and get a protective order. Now, if that protective order was full-blown granted, probably would have remained in effect for like 2 years. I would be without any firearms for 2 years. And on top of that, all it took was this woman's false accusation, and guess what? They revoked my concealed carry permit. Like, they revoked my concealed carry permit. No probable cause, no due process. I didn't even have an opportunity to exonerate myself at this particular time when it was revoked. I mean, that's nuts. This woman should be in my court. She should be really not defending her friend. She should be denouncing her friend. I mean, what means more, the friendship or the Second Amendment? It's, in my opinion, it's obvious where this woman lies, and it's, you know, in the bed with dogs, apparently.
Straight to the horse's mouth. And that would be the same as with any of you guys. I mean, people need to learn to come straight to the source, ask the question. Don't run around telling a bunch of lies on people. That's not good. And fact is I know I can speak for myself. I've never attacked or been mean to someone online. And to hear that that's being tried to spread around or threatened, I take great offense. And so
this is concerning, okay? What she just, wow. People, when you're making claims using the word threatened, do you realize how serious of a word that is? Like, what do you mean by threatened? I mean, this sounds like what this woman did to me. She claimed I threatened her, and guess what? It never happened, and none of that stuck. But threatened is a very serious word. You know what I want to know is, what was the threat? Who threatened who? And if you're being threatened and it's legitimate, what did you do about it? Did you call 911? I don't think so. Stop using that word so willy-nilly like that, because it's a dangerous word. You're imputing in criminality against someone, and it's not right. And you're using this as a manipulation tool. You're manipulating the viewers to think that you're being honest. Like, why on earth would she say a threat occurred if it didn't? Well, why? I fully anticipate this woman's going to respond to this video, and good. I hope she does. I hope she picks up the phone, takes a page out of her own book, and contacts me. Like, will she? Let's sit down. You, me, Bill Wiley. Oh, got a text message. Let's all sit down and let's talk about this. But she knows full and well what's gone on with me and what her friend has done. And and she never reached out to me. She never showed any support. She is, you know, that's the kind of person she is. That's what I get for being a constituent of Bill Wiley. This is the woman that he thinks is good to be his legislative assistant and represent him, and apparently be his spokesperson.
So my initial reaction is, bring it on. Show me the proof, and I'll prove you wrong. I know how I act as a person, but it's a sad shame that you got to waste time dealing with it, because we have important things to deal with. So this will be the last time I address it. But that is why the post was made. I made it so that people would understand, you know, where I was coming from, and here's the truth. And And sometimes you have to kind of speak up for yourself and let people know what the truth actually is.
All right, well, I'm going to stop it there because our video is pretty much almost over. And, I mean, when I was made aware of this video, I was like, okay, well, I got to watch this. I got to see what it says. And instantly, I'm like, wow, this woman is making this video because Bill Wiley's constituents are obviously concerned, wondering what side of the fence this woman's really lying at because of what her friend. Now, she's, at this point, don't be surprised if she starts saying, we're not friends, or we had a falling out, because she really has to do damage control. This is Bill Wiley's upcoming campaign that's on the line here. I see this woman and Bill Wiley as being the type of political people to tell everyone what they think they want to hear, and then just do it to get a vote, just do it to get in the position. But is it meaningful, what they said? I'm going to say no. I can't honestly say that this woman was meaningful when she said she supports the Constitution. There's no way in hell. If she's a supporter then of the Constitution, then she would instantaneously have a problem with my lack of due process, my lack of an opportunity to exonerate myself, and my Second Amendment right utterly infringed on. And it would be one thing if this woman got this protective order, if it was actually full-blown granted. She might argue that, well, it had to have been justified. But seriously, I would never in a million years get a protective order on someone simply because of the outcome that it has on a Second Amendment right. I support the Constitution, the Second Amendment, that much. That's me. I would actually advocate being full-blown against protective orders. I mean, they don't make sense to me anyways. It's just a damn piece of paper. And if somebody's really threatening to do bodily harm against someone, I mean, that would essentially probably be a felony. Well, if you violate a protective order, that's a damn Class 1 misdemeanor. Do you really think that someone who meant what they said is going to say, oh, darn, I was gonna commit a felony, but now that I've got this piece of paper, if I violate it, I'm gonna get a Class 1 misdemeanor? It doesn't make sense. So I appreciate you guys taking time to listen to this video. I think you should engage in conversation amongst each other. You know, anybody's decision on how they take the information that I've given today is completely on them here. But remember, Bill Wiley is, you know, our delegate here, and if you have questions for him, then you have every right to ask questions. All right? Have a good day.